Welcome back to the WHHI-TV Daily News. Joining me now is Marcus Tanner, and he is, of course, our friend and the Executive Director of Second Helpings. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to touch on Thanksgiving and all of this whole year's giving and some new initiatives that you have.
Yes,
so let's jump right in and talk about Thanksgiving, because it was a great one for you guys this year.
So on multi-levels for Thanksgiving this year, we had the community Thanksgiving dinner that the Lacos put on with St. Andrews by the Sea. Supposedly, in the entire time they've been doing this year was the record year for persons served and those that gave the most in donations. So,
wow.
So we all benefited from that, and it was just a great opportunity for the community to come together. And just, you know, it just goes to show you that what this community does in the Lowcountry, whenever they get together, they make record things happen.
They do.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And aside from that, we partnered with Lowcountry Food Bank, and we purchased turkeys and turkey breasts this year, and we gave hundreds of those out, as well as almost 2,000 turkey breasts to our local agencies.
Wow.
And so between our staff and our volunteers coming together in 2 days, they got that distributed out in all over the Tri-County area. So our volunteers and our staff worked really well, and it was just an absolute blessing.
Amazing. That's really wonderful. And so let's talk a little bit about the year in review, though, because it started out a little bit slowly.
Yes, ma'am. So roughly January through May, we were noticing there was a steady decline in the food that we were able to rescue from the stores, supply chain issues, record increases of everything,
right?
Caused some of the stores to be bare. But what we started to notice that was started in May was about a 7% increase, and then it started going up slowly each month. But we ended up better this year than last year, which in comparison to the pandemic and with all the chain issues that they had with all of the getting the groceries there and some of the record unemployment, our grocery stores and our donors, they really stepped up to the plate, and they really made it an excellent year. So we really ended up at a whole lot better than what we anticipated.
That's another fantastic statistic. Love that. Easy for me to say. And so let's talk a little bit, though. You've changed the way that you kind of distribute things, because you wanted to look at and say, we want to make sure that every pound of food is going where it needs to go. So what were those changes that you made? So
when initially we thought that we were going to have a little less than last year, we really began to try to be more intentional and focused on how do we serve our agencies, how do we serve according to the need. So we visited all of our agencies and find out what do they need, how many people do they serve, when are they open, what are we bringing you, and try to make it a little bit better. And so by finding out their needs, we were able to look at every pound of food that we rescued. We're able to actually distribute it to those agencies that had a need. We did it based on how many people they serve, and so roughly pounds per person is how we did that. And we were really able to make every pound count. Every donation counts, and so we want to make sure as good stewards of what we're given to put it in the hands of those that need it. And our volunteers and our donors and our agencies are just exceptional people, and so we owe it to them to do that.
Yeah, it's so great. And I love this next thing that we're going to talk about. I think it's so creative, and I'm thinking outside the box, and it's great. So tell us about the program with vacation homes, where people, when they come here as a tourist, they may buy a little extra.
Yeah, so we call it our tourist rescue program. So what we're doing is local tourists have come into the area, and we've always had them stop by after a week or so and say, hey, we got food left over, can you guys take it? So we've been doing this for a while, but we decided to actually focus on a program to do that. And oddly enough, Miss Pamela Loback, she's a local business owner, and she actually runs some timeshares. She contacted us out of the blue and said, hey, I've got this idea. And we were like, we do too. So we were able to partner with her, and we're partnering with a lot of local agencies and reaching out to the chambers and a lot of local businesses, and to give the tourists an actual program, a place of focus that they can, at the end of the week, if you got leftover food, please contact us, bring it to us, drop it off on your way out, and we'll make sure it gets in the right hands of those that need it.
Absolutely love that. I think it's so creative and wonderful. So as always, it's good to see you, and thank you so much for everything you're doing in the community. We can't wait to see what happens in 2023.
And as always, to all of our community supporters, thank you, because we can't do this without you, and you are the reason why we are so successful.
Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. And we will be back in just a moment.